you think it's safe to say that we won't hit 16 winners before the playoffs?
I don't know if it's safe to say. We still have a ways to go, as you said, Joe. But with the playoffs coming, I think something that's more notable to me in that is the fact that we've had two winners, Daniel Suarez, Chase Elliott, who were not in the playoffs a year ago. So that means we're going to have drivers who were in the playoffs last year who will not be in it this year. Of course, Kevin Harvick is one of those. He is retired. But now we have one guaranteed spot. Who was in last year will not be entered this year. And I'm very curious to see how that shakes out. And that's also a misstep for Michael McDowell potentially. That could be one of Michael McDowell's spots that he's going to miss out on. Like that's going to be something we're going to have to follow throughout the rest of the season here with the playoffs.
So 6 winners in the first 9 races. We need 10 more to get to 16, and we have 17 races in the regular season. I think there is zero chance we get to 16 different winners. I think that the amount of parity that we've seen over the last couple of years, I think, has started to go away with the next-gen era. And I got to say, I was listening to SiriusXM this week, and the point was brought up, and I guess it remains true today with Chase Elliott's win. If you take away Daniel Suarez and Trackhouse's win at Atlanta, the races this year have only been won by Hendrick and Joe Gibbs. So, you take those two organizations, even if you grant all 4 of their cars at those two teams' victories, that's 8 different winners. You got to think Suarez won't be the only one, so maybe you get to 10 or 11. But I think 16 is really going to be pushing it at this point, with the amount of repeat winners we've seen and the dominance that we've seen from just 2 teams here to start the year so far. Again, like I said, I think it's inevitable Ford gets a win eventually. So, you want to talk about 10 or 11 total different winners. I think that, we'll certainly get there when it comes time for the playoff. But at the rate it's going, we might not even get to 16 through all 36 races, let alone the first 26 before we lead into the playoffs. I think it's very unlikely at this point that we're going to see that much parity in year 3 of this next-gen car.
And just to counter, I do agree with you, Ben. However, there's something to note. Like Stewart-Haas Racing seems to be a bit better. You could get 1 or 2
Fair
of
enough.
those cars to slip in there.
Sure.
Michael McDowell could, of course, get another win. There's several road courses coming up. He's also really good at the super speedways. Penske hasn't gotten a win yet. Blaney's going to be in there on points probably if we don't get to 16. But and you got Truex who's running a lot better as well. You've mentioned Gibbs. But I do think it's possible. I think the chances are the slimmest they've been yet with the Gen 7. But I do think Stewart-Haas is kind of the wild card here. If they can kind of put together, like I think Gregson could steal a win. I think Josh Berry maybe at a short track or Ryan Preece at a short track could really possibly put something together.
All right, I'll tweak it. I'll give you a 1% chance. Is that acceptable?
That's fair.